If you guys are looking for the best jerseys for the best prices, make sure you guys go check out Jaden's Jerseys. We have all your favorite teams in NBA, NFL, MLB, and college football and basketball. Best prices and the best quality. So make sure you guys go check out all of our selections at Jaden's Jerseys right now.
Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of the TPT podcast. Today, I'm going to be breaking down the Jacksonville Jaguars and Kansas City Chiefs game. Let's get into it.
Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of the TPT podcast. The TPT podcast, the TPT podcast.
Well, guys, Kansas City Chiefs get it done versus Jacksonville Jaguars, 17-9. I was at that game in-house in Jacksonville. It was a hot one, let me tell you that. I was sitting there sweating my ass off. I mean, it was absolutely hot. Went with a group of friends. It was pretty good game. Jags fans had a pretty good atmosphere. Duval was there loud and proud. So was the Chiefs Kingdom. They were there loud and proud. So it was a good game to go to. A lot of action, but a sloppy game for the Chiefs. And that's really what I'm going to get into a lot today is my takeaway from the game of what the Kansas City Chiefs have to do to fix some of their problems and what they're also doing well. And I think the first order of business was going into this game was what the offense was going to be. We had Travis Kelce back. That was going to be a factor in this game, and who Mahomes was going to go to early. He didn't go to Travis Kelce early in this game. Travis Kelce did end up getting a touchdown in the game, and I think that was big for him to get his mojo back. But there were some of the other guys, right, that I have concerns with the receiving room. I didn't think Kelce looked too slowed down. I didn't think he looked too out of shape or anything. There was times, he caught a pass and he dropped one. But, still not knocking the rust off. And other guys that should not be rusty but look rusty is MVS. MVS has not looked good. I mean, this is his 22nd game with the Chiefs, and he doesn't even have 1,000 yards total. That's including the playoffs. So he was the one guy where I really thought this season could step it up and be like an 800, 900, close to 1,000-yard receiver. But he just has not stepped it up for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I think he's the guy that has to sort of get going on the Chiefs because they have no deep threat right now. And that is my first concern is the Kansas City Chiefs have to find a guy where it threatens the ball down the field because they do not have that right now. They just don't. I would say Watson is our closest guy. I feel like him and Mahomes maybe have the closest connection in the receiver room because, again, MVS is supposed to be our veteran, our deep field, guy, get the big catches in games. But he just hasn't been that right now. He had through the first two games, he just hasn't been that. And I would really like to start seeing MVS step up, get him the ball more because we need him. We're going to need a guy like that down the stretch because I will say this, he was big in that Bengals game when everyone went out. He had a touchdown. So we're going to need MVS. He's averaging about 40 yards per game and not even a touchdown per game, 0.2 touchdowns per game with his time with the Chiefs. So that's not going to cut it. 40 yards a game is not going to cut it. Being probably the number one receiver on this team. I would like to see a veteran like that really step up into his role. The other receiver that I knew they were going to go to early, and I said this in my last episode, was Kadarius Toney. I knew they were going to go to Kadarius Toney early, and they did. He had a big first quarter on some sweeps, on some catches. I thought he had a pretty good game. I thought they were going to get the ball more in this game, but they ended up didn't. They did not give him the ball more in this game. I think what's hard, though, right now for the Chiefs is they haven't meshed yet. And I don't know if you can sit there, and a lot of Chiefs fans are freaking out. And they're like, oh, our offense only scored 17. The week before that, they only scored 21. So they're kind of concerned, that our offense is gonna be this kind of just offense that's slow and can't move the ball, doesn't have a deep threat. I think it will mesh eventually, and this is the perfect time of the season for that, because our next couple of games, it is a 1-11 record combined. You go play a team like the Bears, then you go play an Aaron Rodgers Jets team, or a Aaron Rodgers-less Jets team, I should say. Then you got to go play the Vikings, who have not looked good this season. Then you got to go to play the Chargers, who are 0-2 and have not looked good at all on defense. And not just on defense, they've lost some players right now that are injured and banged up on offense. Seems like every single year that team is always hurt. So right now for the Chiefs, this is their time to try to test some things and really get the chains moving and really get the ball moving. Because, again, there are these wide receivers. It can't just be a Kelsey show. It can't. You're going to need other receivers to step up, and I thought Sky Moore did a little of that this last Sunday. Is step up. He had the 7 yards. He had that long not touchdown, but that long reception towards the end of the game to seal the deal, which is basically a touchdown. A lot of people are looking at this game. They're going, oh, we won 17-9. No, the Chiefs really won 20 or 24-9 because they were at the 1 yard line at the end of the game and they decided to kneel it. They wanted to be petty, and if it probably wasn't Doug Peterson on the other side, they probably would have just tried to score there. But with a minute 45 left, they decided to kneel it. So again, they probably would have scored on that drive and it would have been 24-9. And, we've probably been sitting here saying, oh, our offense is actually fixed. Our offense is actually not, been struggling. But the offense didn't struggle. There was a time when we went punt, fumble, interception, punt. There was a lot of drives. I think it was the first 3 or 4 drives. We did not look good. They ended up scoring on the 5th drive. But the Kansas City Chiefs, again, they're sloppy to play right now. That would be one of my concerns. And it's not just some of the receivers. I'm not just going to pick on the receivers and say, oh, most of our receivers are this, that, and the other. No. What the problem is you have Jawan Taylor. Jawan Taylor is a huge problem. Huge problem right now. Him with the false starts, not being able to block. And I thought Jawan Taylor would come in and be fine. I still think by the end of the year he'll be fine. He's in a new system. He's with a new quarterback. But Jawan Taylor has been very bad through the first couple of games. I think Donovan Smith was the one that a lot of Chiefs fans were concerned with. I don't see it. I think Donovan Smith has been fine. Yeah, he had the penalty in Detroit. He's been just fine. Our offensive line has not played where I thought it would be right now. And again, I think it's going to take a little time. 2 new guys on the offensive line, they're going to mesh. So that's just one of my concerns is Jawan Taylor's got to start turning it around. I know, again, they play a Bears team that doesn't have the best defense. But then you can go play a Jets team who does have a good defense and can get up to the quarterback. So that would be a big, big problem if Jawan Taylor was not able to block guys on the end for the New York Jets. So those are my first 2 concerns is a wide receiver not getting open down the field. And then you have problems on your offensive line. And my last problem is even when our guys catch it, is the turnovers. We have guys where Kadarius Toney almost basically caught it last year, and then decided to toss it up for a guy for a pick 6. This week you have Mahomes for an interception. You have Richie James, who I'm very disappointed with so far. I know this isn't just trying to have a negative show right now. These are just some of my concerns. But the guys we even brought in who I thought could be good playmakers right now, and I know it's early, is Richie James. And I thought Richie James was going to come in and kind of be a spark plug guy, but the only spark plug guy really right now is Watson. We thought Watson last year, we're like, why did we keep him around? He's not really productive. He had one good game versus the Chargers. We had a big touchdown. Other than that, he's just kind of mid. I think he's the only guy with the only connection with Mahomes right now. So I would love to see Richie James step it up, especially in the kick return role, because it's been really bad. The punt return role has been really bad for the Chiefs. Their special teams, besides kicker, has not been great. So they need to get that going to give Patrick Mahomes and some of these guys opportunities to get in the end zone. So that's where I think Richie James needs to come in. He doesn't have to be the best receiver. He just got to get stuff done, fielding the ball and taking it back, and just being a better job as special teams as a whole. I know that fun probably got in his eyes this Sunday and he fumbled the ball, which can happen. But there's really no excuse. They got to get it done with the receivers. And, Richie James, I want to see more of MVS. Those are the two guys right there. I feel like for the most part, we're getting Justin Ross and Rashee Rice. You may think, Jaden, he hasn't really done anything. He had a couple of catches this Sunday and he had a touchdown last week. He's been kind of okay. If he's out there, excuse me. I need a mute button. Maybe I need a coffee. And if he's out there and Andy Reid is trusting a rookie to have the snaps that he's getting, it is huge. The last time he played a rookie receiver that much was probably Tyreek Hill. I know Sky Moore played a little bit last year, but Richie James already has a touchdown, which Sky Moore didn't even score a touchdown as a rookie last year. But there's guys on this team that can be playmakers. My thing is this is what I'll last thing I'll say on this topic is I know I brought up a lot of my concerns. At the end of the day, they're just casual concerns. These aren't concerns that are reaching level 10. Because you got to think about it like this. The Kansas City Chiefs offense is struggling. We know we have Patrick Mahomes, a guy who's going to start getting points and is going to start slinging the rock, and these playmakers are going to start making plays. The defense has been the best part of the season so far. I don't think they're going to be a team that holds teams under 21 every single week or 17 or a touchdown basically a week, because last week the Lions scored 2 touchdowns, and this week the Jags scored none. And again, Jacksonville is a very good team. They'll end up winning their division. They have a really good quarterback. They have really good receivers. But the Chiefs' secondary looked really good, stopping guys in the red zone. And the defensive line, off the kiss. I'm getting the soul feel right now. Christopher Jones. I mean, the guy was basically fresh off of just training and off. I don't want to say off the streets because he was still working out and stuff like that, and he wasn't just some guy they picked up. But fresh off of not playing for a long time since the Super Bowl, contact football, in-game football, and he goes out there and he shows everybody, and I mean everybody, why he is the best defensive lineman in the league. I mean, the best interior defensive lineman, let me say that, in the league. And I know people may be saying Aaron Donald, but the way Chris Jones moves, just grown-ass men out of the way. And was huge on a sack that Trevor Lawrence fumbled in. He had a 1.5 sacks, which I thought he really had 2. Batted a pass on 3rd down, that was huge. Chris Jones was huge coming back. Just to show you that this guy was on a snap count, and this is rusty Chris Jones. If he really wants Defensive Player of the Year, he could absolutely get Defensive Player of the Year. And by even missing a game, I mean, Chris Jones, I thought, was huge for the Chiefs. I thought he came back really, really strong. And I think the secondaries and some of the younger players in the secondaries, they don't look like they're having a sophomore slump. This defense can be a top 10 defense this year. I like the defense a lot. I think they look good. Very, very, very good. And another thing I want to say is I thought the run game looked really good. I thought Pacheco wasn't trying to bounce. He hit his hole and he was gone. And you could see they made that adjustment at halftime. They came out, they ran the ball, they scored on that drive right before halftime. But there was none of the dancing from Pacheco. He hit a hole and he's so quick he was gone. I thought he was going to break one because he had like a 20, 30-yard run. But Pacheco was a big reason why they won this game. Obviously, my hat goes off to the defense and what they did. But I thought Isaiah Pacheco had a very good game running the ball. Kelsey this game, he got open for a touchdown. And that's what we're kind of waiting for, is the other guys to step up. Because there's not going to be a Kelsey forever. Yeah, and those are some of my concerns. And like I said, guys, one thing I would iterate is they are concerns, but I don't think they're just big problems. Yes, Jawan Taylor is starting to be a liability because we get into the red zone and then gets pushed back 15 yards because he keeps getting false start after false start after false start. But I think the Chiefs are going to be fine. I think their offense is finally going to mesh. I think their O-line will mesh. And right now I don't have any problems with the defense. I think the defense looks great. And I cannot wait for the Chicago Bears to go into Kansas City so they can go bear hunting for the Chicago Bears. Let me know what you guys think of this Jacksonville Jaguars game. Please comment below about what you guys think this upcoming game with the Bears is going to be like. And what are the things the Chiefs need to work on? So make sure you guys comment that below. I will see you guys next time on the TBT Podcast.